main party last week, so we came to see who's still here.
Yeah, we're still here. You guys come to join us?
For a little bit at least. Mainly we just came to talk to people and see what they had to say.
Okay, well, Stu, he was the founder of Oath Keepers. I'm Joe, by the way.
Aaron.
Avital.
And Kenny.
Yeah, Stu had to go to New Mexico. He'll be back tomorrow. Or no, he'll be back. Yeah, he'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, and we have patients coming in.
But we have some other guys coming in today. Right now it's just the 3 of us. And we're gonna do another patrol tonight.
So how many people did you have here last weekend?
No, last weekend?
When I was here, we had 2 in each car. We had 3 cars, and we had 2.
No, we had 6 cars.
6 cars.
6 cars. We had about 14 of us.
Okay.
How much I was in the car, so.
But I mean, some people had to leave because they had to work. Some people just hadn't been able to make it down here.
People can come
Where y'all
and
from?
do weekends.
I'm from Houston. They're from Florida.
Have a vacation time. If you want a vacation time, doing something like this, it'd be a good vacation time for you. We don't go around hot-heading and shooting people. We don't want hotheads. We want people that will respect the Oath Keepers and their rules. We're not racist. We don't say racial things because it's not right to do. And we're all for one for our country, and we want to protect the border. It is our border. It's not President Trump's border, it's our border. And if we don't stand up and protect our border, we are fools. And they'll be knocking at your door one of these days. I'd rather meet them here. I don't want to meet them in my house with my family. I'll meet them here.
Well, you know, I found the best test for immigration is, would you actually let these people in your house? And I have a very suspicious feeling Nancy Pelosi would not let 90% of the people coming across here illegally into her house.
No,
that's obvious.
Whereas there's people in the Middle East who are under threat of ISIS persecution who I'd absolutely let into my house, I don't know about you, and give them a place to stay while they try and figure things out.
No, that's what we're supposed to be doing at the border.
Well, we can use some help tonight. We can use some help.
We need help anytime, every time. We like to trade off, but we got to get people involved that's willing to do trade off. Maybe do the weekends, maybe you give vacation time, like I said. This would be a good vacation spot.
So just so you know, I have 3 daughters.
Okay.
This is my middle daughter.
Okay.
And specifically, we're Jewish, and there's a reason I'm saying this. My youngest daughter, I was here about 2 months ago on vacation for a daddy-daughter weekend from Florida. I work in software, so I know people in Austin because it's a software place. Austin's weird. I am not weird, let's put it that way.
No, that's...
And my daughters make me look communist, and I'm not. Let's put it that way, okay? So we went to my youngest daughter, who's 15. We heard that there was a pro-life rally, right? It was a pro-life rally at the state capitol. So my 15-year-old daughter, on my vacation with her for 4 days of daddy-daughter, says, "Daddy, I want to go to the pro-life rally."
Good.
So we went there, and at the pro-life rally, we met 2 months ago, Kenny at the state capitol steps. We became friends. And what then happened was, about my oldest daughter, who's a junior in college in North Carolina, she has a website going up, and it's called thebitchesright.com.
Well, that's straight to the point, baby.
Wait, can you
That's straight to the point.
So when Kenny found out about it being called thebitchesright.com, and I have helped her, we're setting up another website. She owns the name truejournalism.com.
Okay.
So that's going up probably in a few months. The other Bitches Right is going up probably, we're hoping, by tomorrow night. So what my oldest daughter said is, "Daddy, I'd like to actually go down to the border and talk to border patrol." We're from Florida. Okay, so we came down here about three weeks ago, and I contacted Kenny again because we had exchanged information when we were at the Capitol. And Kenny was kind enough, he's like, I don't want you going down there, being from Florida, not knowing anything. Kenny knows, and you can see he's with OCT, etc. So we became friends. He took us down here 3 weeks ago, and with my other daughter, and we interviewed for her website, Border Patrol, police local. Not one of them that we had spoken to was against having a wall. Every Border Patrol trooper is like, build the wall.
Yeah, because, you know, you can't be everywhere at one time, and it's impossible.
Right.
And I hear from ranchers, I lived in Bracketville for about 3 or 4 years, and the ranchers there, it's like a nightmare for them. They have people trafficking, taking women, and they have rape trees, and that really exists out there. Okay, and how you know it's a rape tree? There's panties hanging in the tree. They're so disgusting that they go as far as showing it off. So if they can show it off like that, then that's not a good thing. That is very bad. And they're doing drug running. They're doing the gun running. Now there's people that's trying to get across because they want to be a citizen. They need to have understanding. They need to go to the proper channels. And I understood by another person that showed me some stuff or would talk with me. We really need to go to the country to help them establish their country and make their country great. Why come to a country that has already went through that? We went through wars. We made this country great. They need to learn that they can make their country great, and not try to come and take something that we already did. Now, it's not helping the countries because there's more poverty. It's getting more and more, and we only take a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I'm talking about thousands. But thousands and thousands and thousands in that period of time has increased. So we're not helping that country, and we're not helping our country. We need to go to their country and say, here, this is how you establish a country that's worthy to be great as America. You want to be great as America, this is what you do.
So the only thing also add
Let them have it.
is that this is my middle daughter. So my youngest daughter met Kenny with me at the state capitol. Then my oldest daughter wanted to come down for her website. My middle daughter also obviously is very interested. She's on spring break from college. Woo! And I said, look, I'll take off from work for a couple days, and I'll bring you down for the weekend so you can see the border. And we're only here for a couple of hours because I got to get back to work. But we came from Florida just to say and show things. And when I am in Florida and I meet people, which many of which,
the word.
Hell yes. I mean, the amount, I don't know what the ratio is, whether it's 90% or 80%. They're like, what's the problem? Let them come in, blah, blah. I said, you know what? I said, you guys all live in Florida. Most places have gated communities.
Yeah.
I said, what if you lived half a mile, 1 mile, 5 miles from an open, no fence, no border? I said, you have no idea. Why don't you go move there? Why don't you tell Pelosi? Yeah. So I wanted my kids to understand, you know, this country has places that are safe, not safe, and different. I just said to her 10 minutes ago, I said, you think people that you're friends and you've seen places like this part of the country exist? You know, we've never seen such a thing.
They don't show ugly, they only show niceties.
Yeah.
Be prepared, because they will pull the wool over your eyes.
Hell yeah. Let me just
go for it. What's your knees?
Kenny, you want to stand next to her?
Yeah, you go, Kenny.
Well, I'm curious, how many of these ranchers do you know that are having the crossing problems and want something done about it?
Honestly, I know 2, but there's more. But they don't come forth.
Well, because have you heard about the GoFundMe a while back to build a border fence, right? Well, that's since transitioned to a privately funded venture to do it because they realized there was no way they couldn't make sure that Nancy Pelosi didn't use that money to go out for a steak dinner or something, because you know a government steak dinner costs $15 million.
Steve Bannon's group is doing that.
Yeah. So Lauren, can we try and coordinate with those independent ranchers and these people wanting to have the funds to build the wall on their property first?
I would love to be able to negotiate that.
Kyle what was his name, Kyle?
Biederman?
Biederman. He's a state legislator, and his family owns a ranch, 80-acre ranch in El Paso. They've been there for 100 years. He has a bill in Texas for us to use. We have a rainy day fund. Right now we have $9 billion in that rainy day fund. By the end of the year we'll have $15 billion. It's all funded by tax on the oil. The state of Texas gets 10% of that money, and that's our rainy day fund. And he's got a bill right now to use some of that money for Texas to build his own wall. His family has that 80 acres. They have 5 miles of privately built fence, which keeps them off their ranch, but they go to other ranchers and they tear down their fences. I just saw a video on Facebook where some guy from Ecuador made himself at home while the rancher was gone. They came home and this guy was sleeping in their bed, naked. And they asked him to leave. They asked him to leave. He wouldn't leave. Actually, he got up, helped himself to a Coke. Wouldn't leave, so they called Border Patrol and they handcuffed him and waited for Border Patrol to show up to take him away. But they do this. They just come in and they'll if the ranchers aren't home for a while, they'll just squat and make themselves at home. And don't tell them what they're doing, you know. And it's not just here on the border. I was watching a video in West Virginia. There's an area where there was a low-income housing area for blacks and whites. Well, they moved all those people out. They tore the buildings down, and they're building an area for Somali refugees. And that area is going to be Muslim only. No Christians can enter this area. Now, if that's not racist, I don't know what is. But they call us racist, and it's far from the truth. None of us are racist. We can't stand it. If we have a racist group that tries to join us, we ask them to leave. You know, and.
Yeah, I guess tell us a bit more about Oath Keepers. I've heard of y'all, but I haven't gotten quite the full story.
Oath Keepers it was founded by Stuart Rhodes. He's the founder of it. Oath Keepers started out as mainly ex-military and police. Okay, people who have sworn an oath to our country, and our oath never ends. We swear to defend the country. If we're called upon by the president or by a governor, we will answer the call. And so when President Trump asked for declared an emergency, we responded to that emergency. And basically we're going to be a human wall, and we're going to do this until the wall is built. And it doesn't have to be a big concrete wall. There can be fencing in some areas. There can be cameras in some areas. If you look around, there's cameras all over the place up here. See up there in that tower? That's a camera tower. Down the road about 2.5 miles, there's another camera tower. And further out, we stay here on the highway and this main dirt access road. Okay, that's Border Patrol has asked us to stay in this area because further back, it's actually a maze back there. You can get lost, but they have sensors, and they don't want us setting off the sensors. Okay, they don't want any incidents with, you know, blue on blue, if you would.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, friendly fire. We don't do that. At night we wear orange armbands so they can identify us. We tell them where we're going to be, and our job here is just to be eyes and ears for the Border Patrol. That's it. We don't apprehend anybody. If we do ask them to stop, and if they stop, and we call Border Patrol and let them handle it. If they decide to run, we don't chase them down to apprehend them or anything like that. We call Border Patrol and they respond to it. So we're not being aggressive about this. We're just being eyes and ears to help the Border Patrol with a lot of coverage. There are only 20,000 Border Patrol for the entire United States. That's got to cover the southern border the northern border and Alaska. Okay? And they say we need more Border Patrol agents, but are they going to fund it? Will the Democrats fund it? Will even the Republicans fund it? You know? They say we need more technology, but these guys are not getting it, you know? I asked the Border Patrol when I got here, I said, you know, I've been here for about 4 days, and I didn't see any air cover. And they said, we only have 2 helicopters for the entire state of Texas. So if they need air cover, and they're up in El Paso, and they got something going on in Del Rio, they're like, when they get done doing what they're doing, we'll release them. Well, by then, it's too late. They need more air cover. They need drones. They need more technology. They need a real fence. If you go down by the international bridge, you'll see that they have a pretty good sized fence up there.
That just suddenly ends when it gets down to here.
But it ends. It's not completed, you know, and it's easy to go around.
Right, and in completely unrelated news, there's a Mexican caravan that suspiciously chose that endpoint of the fence to try and get over here.
Yes, they did.
And they know where they're at.
But Border Patrol, you know, they have airboats that they run up and down the river. They have 4-wheelers. 2 guys just went by a little while ago. They got their vehicles, but they can't cover everything. So we're just down here trying to deter from this area. If they know we're here, they may not come through this area. They might go around us. And basically what we're doing is we're flushing them toward the Border Patrol. Border Patrol knows we're here. If they need to respond to some situation, they will. But this frees up some of the Border Patrol agents from being in this it's only a 2.5 mile area we're covering right now. We'd like to cover more, but we need more
boots on the ground.
We need more boots on the ground. We need more patriots, more oath keepers, you know, anybody who's willing to help. You just got to remember when you come down here, we carry weapons to protect ourselves, but we're not going to be using them unless it's a situation we absolutely have to. That's a last resort. It's just for our own safety and our own protection. We're not
I know someone who can't get off work enough to be here on the weekends because I'm in Houston, but is there some way I can donate to help your effort for people who can't be here?
You can go to oathkeepers.org and there's a donate button. And whatever you can give helps because they'll reimburse us for our fuel. I mean, it's cost me about $300 to come down here this week with food and fuel. And that's money out of my own pocket. So anything helps to reimburse us for our fuel. That's the main issue. I mean, I came. And you can be a membership. I drove 7.5 hours down here to be down here. I'm going to stay a week, and then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to have to take a little bit of a break for a couple of months. And then if the operation's still going on, I'll come here. If there's a call for me to go to New Mexico, I will gladly answer that call. But we are all volunteers, and we all have lives to live. So we can't be here all the time. So we do need more participation from people who are like-minded like us. And that's pretty much it.
But by seeing people out here, the bad runners, they can get in big trouble, they're not going to come around this area. And more people we have on the ground, more gap of that wall we fill in. And more gaps we fill in this here wall, it will stop the gun runners. It will stop the human trafficking. It will stop this drug running through here. I see a great vision for this Oath Keeper. I prayed a lot. These are all Christian-based people that usually comes here. So you have a heart for God, okay, and you have a heart for our country, and it's important for these two mix very well. But boots on the ground deters them. They see us, they don't know. They're not going to come across if they see more people out here protecting the border. And you don't have to worry so much about you getting into any danger. I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be danger. It's dangerous to walk outside of your house, you get hit by a car, okay? That's danger, always. But your danger is not as bad as people think it is. Because see, they see you, they don't know what you're doing. They are afraid of you. They will not come over. They'll try to find another way. More people on the ground, less ways they can get in. And it's just to find our country to have understanding. I don't want them knocking at my door. I don't want war or anything coming at my door. I want to be over here and stop the whole mess before it happens. It's called how you say it? Oh my God.
Preferential engagement zone.
Exactly is what I was trying to say. Say it again.
Preferential engagement zone.
Yes, that's what we need.
Okay.
Last weekend we had a big rally on Sunday. About 50 people showed up. We had Latinos for Trump, a lot of locals here, part of the Latinos for Trump. We had bikers for Trump. We had America United was here, and the Oath Keepers. Oath Keepers is sponsoring this, but we do have some co-sponsors, and we're trying to just unite the conservative view and get the truth out. That's what we want. We just want the truth.